In other news tonight, former President Fidel Ramos stresses the need for reforms initiated by the Aquino administration to continue to maintain the path of the country's economic growth. Ramos made the statement after the gross domestic product growth slowed down to 5.3% during the third quarter of 2014. Meanwhile, Trade and Industry Secretary Gregory Domingo is confident of the rebound of the economy in the fourth quarter of this year. Freddie Abando tells us more.
Although economic growth is down to 5.3% for the third quarter of the year, there is still great promise of a rebound for the fourth quarter with the expected surge of government spending for the remainder of the year. Infrastructure spending is on top of the list of priorities, where the spending is expected to generate jobs and economic activity. The government is committed to spend 5% of GDP, equivalent to 800 billion pesos by 2016, to enhance the country's competitiveness.
This issue on government spending came about in the third quarter. And so there was a lot of tightening because of the perceived future tightening of audit rules, COA rules, etc. So that was in anticipation of that, a lot of government institutions kind of tightened up on their spending. But I think there's an adjustment period, but fourth quarter should be slightly better than the third quarter from a government spending perspective. I think relative to the spending of the third quarter, fourth quarter will be better because now some institutions may have adjusted already to the new regime, so they figured out the proper way to do it, given the new rule.
The truck ban and the port congestion also led to the slowdown. The government has taken a more aggressive strategy to deal with the port congestion to ensure the steady flow of incoming and outgoing flow of goods from the ports.
Despite supposedly the congestion problem in the ports, that our exports still increased almost double digits. And so in spite of that, we've been able to grow very fast. And whereas yesterday we had this very big meeting on the port congestion with all the stakeholders there. And it seems like there is already a slight improvement as of November. And the port operators were quite confident that the situation will continue to improve. Plus, we suggested a few more steps to all the parties concerned on how we can speed up the improvement further.
The gain of manufacturing in recent years is expected to be sustained with the surge of foreign direct investments. From January to August, FDIs hit close to $5 billion. Trade Secretary Gregory Domingo said there is a great amount of confidence in the President's leadership of reforms which restored the confidence of the business community, local and foreign. No less than former President Fidel Ramos cited the President's bold initiatives, especially his crusade for good governance.
If you look at the FDI numbers of the Philippines, from 1 billion in 2010 to 2 billion in 2011, 3.2 billion in 2012, 3.8 billion in 2013. This year, as of August, we already exceeded last year's. So we're already at over $4 billion this year. And given the ones that we've seen, the interest plus the committed investments in our road shows, these investments will continue to flow in over the next several years at the minimum.
There is still time in this administration, and let us support this administration because this is also our administration as Filipinos. That is how we are being rated in the United Nations.
Meantime, the former president stressed reform should continue to maintain the path of growth to benefit all Filipinos, especially the poor. Two key reforms are the passage of Resolution Number 1, which proposes amendments to restrictive economic provisions of the Constitution, and the Fair Competition Law, which will level the playing field of business in the country. Another key concern is the ease of doing business, cutting red tape in securing licenses to establish a company to operate in the country. Both are expected to enhance the country's bid to attract more foreign capital for sustained growth for the long term.
Ito po yung leadership, marketing, transfer of technology from elsewhere, and lastly, unity. Yun ang kulang eh. If you look at the Philippine political situation today, everybody is fighting each other.
There are already clamor to simplify the giving of permits, and that's what I think we should work for. The President has done well with this patuwid na daan. If the other agencies can now follow to deliver quickly permits and issuance of titles. I also heard that issuance of titles now from various register of deeds takes so long. So these are the things that are becoming to be the choking points of the economy.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.